For 2 years almost, I've been told this lie, and maybe you have too. The lie is simple, and it's catchy. Comics are dying, and they need to be saved. Drawn Talk! Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to another episode of Drawn Talk. It's your boy Tyler. Today we're going to be talking about the lie that is comic books are dying, and we're going to talk about why they're not. And while we do that, I'm going to be drawing a page from my book Chefs, which we canceled on Kickstarter, but it will be available on Webtoon starting next week. So get ready for that announcement. Alright guys, let's do this. So, like I said, for 2 years almost, I've been told this lie, maybe you have too. The comics are dying and they need to be saved. And because of this, lie, came a cultural comics revolution, I think. More crowdfunding campaigns started populating. More and more new creators started showing up, and there was like a boom in the Indiegogo comic scene, with creators making books that would, save the industry. And with this came good creators and bad creators. A lot of creators did fulfill their books. A lot of people did not fulfill their books and just took the money and left. As that grew, we started seeing more live streams and YouTube channels starting to appear as well, talking about how comics are dying, how sales are low, and that companies are populated with creators and employees that are trying to push, a political agenda and ruin their favorite characters. And some of this could be true, but still the statement of comics are dying continued to pop up. And for almost 2 years I believed this, until 2 weeks right before I canceled my Kickstarter. And it was at this point I realized that I had been told a lie. Because here's the truth. Comics are not dying. Comics are flourishing. Comics, however, the way you knew it, might be dying. So first off, let's get what the definition of a comic book is. A comic book is a book or magazine that uses sequences of drawings to tell a story or series of stories, primarily in serialized form, usually fiction. So with that definition in mind, we can put the following into the comic book genre: graphic novels of all forms, comic book floppies, manga, comic strips, and web comics. And the most important part of that definition is that comics use sequences of drawings to tell a sequential story, sequential art. If you put up sales for comic book floppies, in February 2020, right before COVID-19 really hit, you'll see that Wolverine #1 from Marvel, which was priced at $7.99, did around 190,000 units. And in 10th place that month was Darth Vader #1, which did 59,000 units. If we look at graphic novel sales for that month as well, the #1 spot was from the Harleen hardcover, which sold for $30 and did only 6,100 units. Now, if we're looking at some manga and what they were doing in that month, and they report their sales weekly, from February 2nd to the 9th, Demon Slayers Volume 19 sold 1,378,361 copies. The number 10 spot that month did 93,000 units. And keep in mind, however, that this was after the anime show, and which was a hit. It had ended, and it sparked huge popularity to the series. But still, this book was a hit. It sold over a million copies. Wolverine should be just as popular as well, right? In 2020, Berserk ranked as the #1 book on Kickstarter, with the next 3 below it being webcomics that took their audiences to Kickstarter for the physical books. And at the same time in 2020, Lore Olympus on Webtoon has amassed around 5 million subscribers, a Patreon of over 15,000 members, and around 300,000 reads, if not more, per episode. And she has just now signed a deal with Random House to put a graphic novel of the webcomic that contains the first 25 chapters. I'm curious about that one. Webtoon boasts now around 75 million monthly views. With an average of 16 million of those people logging on daily to read. And each year their views range in the billions. Even Tapastic, a similar site, has a community of over 2 million users per month. Both of these sites also have apps. You can read these comics on your phone, on your iPad, and on the go wherever you are. The Shonen Jump app as well has amassed around over 70,000 views on the Apple Store alone, meaning that there's probably thousands and thousands and thousands of people, even more on that app. And for $1.99 a month, you can read 100 chapters of any manga on their site for free daily. And then Strange Planet, which was the third most sold graphic novel of 2020, and although I can't find any sales on it, since they don't showcase that, but there's 13,000 reviews on Amazon, meaning that there's at least 13,000 sales. Even that book sold super well, and the guy gave all the content out for free to his 6 million followers on Instagram. Every day he posts a comic for free, and then once he's done, he compiles it into a book, and that book was the third most bought graphic novel of 2020. So here's the thing, and this is what I'm trying to showcase. If you're saying comics are dying, it's a lie. Because here's the thing, they're not dying at all. Millions of people are reading comics daily. Okay, but what is dying is the industry, as some of you once knew it. Comic book stores are not selling comics. They're turning into game stores so they can keep the lights on. And less people are buying floppy comics and graphic novels from those shops. And print is becoming less and less of a thing, but it's still going to be a thing. I love when I talk to people, they're like, I still want the book. Don't worry, you're still going to get the book. There will always be a demand for a physical book if the comic is popular enough. Marvel and DC sales might be falling, but other comic mediums aren't. And this whole argument of comics is dying is essentially the same argument as VHS and DVDs, dying, and we need to save them from streaming services. Because at the end of the day, people trying to save the comic book industry might as well have better luck trying to save Blockbuster from collapsing. Okay, the medium of movies didn't die after Blockbuster. Things just changed. The world is changing, and the problem is that people can't accept it. Alright? So here are two things. Number one, if you're a comic book reader looking for something to read, and you feel like Marvel and DC and all these other comic book companies have let you down, go check out some webcomics. Go to Amazon, find some things on there. Maybe download the Shonen Jump app. There are thousands of chapters of books on there that you can read. You don't have to go to your local comic book store to get this stuff anymore. You just don't. And honestly, the accessibility and price of these digital books, way more affordable. And you can take these books anywhere you go, on your phone, your iPhone, your iPad. If you're a comic book creator, this is number two. Number two, if you're a comic book creator, maybe get the following belief out of your head right now. Comics as you know it are changing, and you need to change with it or sync with the current ship. Maybe I should put my book on Webtoon. Maybe I should do Amazon's print on demand site. Maybe I should put it on another webcomic hosting site. Maybe I start an Instagram and showcase panels on there one at a time. Maybe I post them on Twitter. Maybe I start a Patreon. You can amass a following these days without getting published by DC or Marvel, or go through comic book shops. You can do it. It might take a lot more work, but you can do it. And here's the thing. Now that the world is opening up more and more to everyone because of the internet, the competition will be huge. So be better. Aspire to be better and make comics and start having a silly goose time. Because here's the thing, when I realized all of this and finally canceled my Kickstarter, I felt a huge burden fall off my shoulder because I realized that I don't have to spend 30 days begging for people to back my campaign with the promises of a good book at the end. Now, for the next 365 days of the year, I can show how good my book is as much as I want and allow the readers to decide. And if they don't like my book, that's fine. I'll make a new story. I'll make a new book. And I'll improve. And I'll see if you like that one. And we're going to keep doing this again and again. Because at the end of the day, there will always be readers wanting to read good comics. And there will always be creators like me trying to get those readers to read my comics. And wherever the readers go, I will follow. So yeah, guys, thanks so much for watching. Remember to smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. What do you think about this, notion? Are comics dying? Or is it just the medium that we once knew it dying? Let me know in the comments. I would love to know your thoughts. We're going to be launching Chefs hopefully sometime next week on Webtoons. I'm still trying to figure out which day of the week I'm going to be weekly posting it. But we're going to start off that batch of episodes with 3 episodes so that you can, binge 3 episodes. And then after that, we're going to go weekly. So thank you so much for watching. You guys rock. Have a nice day. Peace.